Hey, good morning, everyone. Obviously, a little bit of a turn of events here with Chevron buying Hess, and so I'm going to go on CNBC. You see it? Hang on, back there. In a second, there's the bell. So the deal is good for Chevron, no question. I didn't think they could get Hess for a 5% premium, which was admittedly with Hess an all-time high last week. So the big upside for Chevron here, I think, is partly obviously the way it diversifies their portfolio base, because we've been worried about Chevron's exposure to Kazakhstan and Russia, very dependent on growth from that area over the next 10 years. And they couldn't really find anything in the Permian that they believed would be accretive, so that's kind of positive that they didn't want to do a Permian deal unless they could find the one at the right price, which they obviously couldn't. And it was always obvious that Hess was a major takeout candidate for them. The question was, would Hess sell and at what price? And sure, as I mentioned, Hess is an all-time high, but you've got to say that this is a relatively low premium for the quality of what they're getting here and the long-term benefits they accrue from being exposed to what is unquestionably the best oil asset in the world. I mean, this thing is just a phenomenon, and as I mentioned, there's significant exploration upside here, and I'm not sure you can say that anywhere else in the world with confidence. So we like the deal from the point of view of both from Chevron, and you can understand John Hess approaching the age of 70. Selling out here, so it's kind of a win-win. In fact, I just saw the IR Jay Wilson coming out because John and Mike Wirth have both been on CNBC this morning, and they're headed off to Bloomberg News, and congratulated him. He said it's a bit surreal, and didn't we do a great job of keeping it quiet? And the answer to that one is you certainly did. I was running a call actually last Thursday with a hedge fund guy and all my clients, and talking about how I didn't think Chevron would buy Hess. And it wasn't for industrial reasons, it was for price reasons. And Chevron IR was actually on the call biting his thumb, or whatever you do when you bite something when you're not allowed to talk. And, they did a great job of keeping this one quiet. So that's that. The outlook at the moment, as you know, geopolitically is crazy. The data in the US oil data is still coming in a little bit weak on the demand side for gasoline, certainly. But distillate is still strong, and there's so much risk in the world right now. We've never really seen anything like this in terms of risk. We've never seen a dual front, Russia, Ukraine, and Middle East. And this past weekend, I spent a good amount of time talking in my note about the options for Israel, which all look bad, unfortunately. It's very tough to know what to do with Gaza and how to manage it. And so I think the situation is going to struggle to reconcile itself anytime soon. The most interesting is really the role of Qatar, first of all. I think very big as regards the US. Obviously, the biggest US military base in the Middle East is right in Qatar. I think they're pretty well defended, and we know that because there was strong thoughts that Saudi would actually invade Qatar at one point, and I think the US very much backed them off that. So there's a complex relationship between Qatar, Hamas, and the US that you have to think about. And then, of course, Iran, who knows what's going on over there at any given time. But one of the interesting points we were raising is that Iran's spending vast amounts of money for proxy wars right across the Middle East and into Yemen. It's causing them problems at home, and Iran's opposition may well be, the biggest opposition may well be Iran domestically. I'll leave it there. Have a great week.